Hey guys, Justin here with a pickups video, and first of all, let me just say that we had awful luck at the garage sales this last weekend. I think we got up for one sale on Friday morning, didn't find anything, and Saturday looked promising. It looked really good. We were checking out the sales online. There was one that said that they were going to be selling a PS2 system and games. Another one said they had video games. There was another sale that was advertising an Xbox and games. So, I mean, it looked really good, and we were really excited to go out on Saturday morning. So we got up at like 7 a.m. It was definitely an early one. And we drove out to kind of where Dave lives. There was a sale going on out there. It was the one that said they had the PS2 system. So we got up there about 7:30. The sale wasn't supposed to start till 8, but they were like setting up and stuff, and they welcomed us when we walked up there. So we looked around for a bit. Dave found the PS2 system. And it was actually probably like the best case scenario for a garage sale that said they had a PS2 system, because first of all, it's the PS2 Slim, but not only that, it is the silver PS2 Slim, which I believe is a little bit harder to find. I doubt if it's worth anymore, but it's still cool to find the silver one. And the system itself is in decent condition. I mean, it's got some scratches on the top and the bottom here, but overall it looks pretty good. And that came with both of the original adapters here, and a couple controllers. Well, okay, one controller. We got, the original black DualShock controller that probably came with the system, and then we have a GameStop brand controller. Since see, GameStop is written right up there. I could not think of anything worse than this controller. It will probably be used as a golf ball sometime in the near future. So we're just going to go with one controller for now. And then it came with a small stack of games here. All of these are actually pretty bad games, so I'll just show them quickly here. I think all but one of these is complete though. We got actually 2 copies of Monopoly Party here. Only one of the discs are actually in this case though. One of them is just an empty case. So I'll probably just use it for an extra case. It's in good condition. So. We got World Championship Poker 2, Tetris Worlds, Trivial Pursuit, High Rollers Casino, Jeopardy, Hasbro Family Game Night, Ultimate Board Game Collection, and Beginner Abs Mini Circle, as seen on TV. So, not the greatest titles there, but I'm not really going to complain because that whole lot was actually only marked for $15. So I took the box up to the lady there and I said, are you firm on the $15 or is that negotiable at all? And I couldn't believe the response I got from her. She's like, oh no, you can just have it for $10. She's like, we actually had a couple football games with it. We were trying to sell it all for $15, but we gave the football games away yesterday, so yeah, you can just have it for $10. So I got $5 off the deal because it didn't include a couple Madden games. Perfectly fine with me. So that was a good start to the day. $10 for that was a great deal. So we drove back kind of where I live. There was actually a garage sale that was going on right around the corner from my house, and we weren't sure if it was going to be open yet, but we drove by and they were open. We were like the first people there. And when we walked up there, the first things I saw was a bunch of like drum hardware, and I actually needed some of it, but the prices this guy was asking for it, I might as well have just bought a new one, to be honest. So we walked into the garage, and we saw a PlayStation 1 bundle, and it was a system. It had a couple controllers with it, the adapters. It was all in good condition, and there was a nice stack of games sitting next to it. So I started flipping through the games, and the guy came up behind me, and I asked him how much he wanted for the whole bundle. And he said he wanted $50 for it. I was just like, I can't afford $50 for this, man. I was like, would you mind selling some of the games individually? And of course I thought he was going to say no. I figured he'd probably want to keep it together as a bundle. But surprisingly, he was like, yeah, pick out which ones you want and maybe we can make a deal. So I grabbed I think there's 6 games here. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to haggle much with this guy. So I brought him up to him, I gave him my best shot, I said, I'll give you $10 for this stack here. And once again, surprisingly, he said, yeah, he's like, I gotta get rid of it, so yeah. So for $10, I'll show you what we got. Space Invaders. Got Asteroids. Road Rash 3D, which I already have this game, but I think my manual on mine has a little bit of water damage on it, so I think I'll switch this one out for mine. Star Wars Rebel Assault, which is a 2-disc game actually. I've never played it though, so try it out. Battle Stations, which I think I might already have. And then finally we got Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And this one actually came with the guide for it, which was cool. The Prima guide. It says it covers the PlayStation and PC version, so that was pretty cool there. Not bad for $10. You know, for 6 games, that's a little under $2 a game, which is what I'm willing to pay for, you know, a complete Black Label game. You know, usually you find these at garage sales for, you know, 50 cents or whatever, but I'm not really going to complain because these are all in like perfect condition. I don't think I've ever found a PS1 game at a garage sale that didn't have a broken case, and these are all in excellent condition. As a matter of fact, the guy said that some of these games had never even been played, and I believe him. I mean, they're all like perfect condition, so I didn't mind paying a little extra for them, and I didn't mind leaving the other games there behind either. I mean, literally, I picked the good games. I don't know what that guy was going to do with that bundle after I took those games out, because, you know, there's no way he's getting anywhere close to $50 for it. I'm sure that he ended up selling it in the last hour of his garage sale to someone for $5. But the games I left behind were like, there was another Star Wars game, but it was just the disc and the manual. It didn't have the case. And there was a couple greatest hits games, I think Namco Museum and Frogger maybe 1 or 2 sports games. So I definitely got the better end of the deal there. So once again, good start to the day. You know, 2 sales, boom, boom, 2 hits. So we were really excited now. And here's where everything just went completely downhill. We drove over to the sale that said they were selling just video games. So we were really excited to go to this one. And when we drove by, to our disappointment, we realized that it was the same exact sale that Dave and I had gone to a few weeks prior. And it was the same sale that we got those all those Game Boy games from. And it was the same lady actually that sold me that huge box of Nintendo stuff, the 2 NES systems, the Super Nintendo, all those accessories and like the books and stuff, all for $20. It was the same lady. So when we found out it was the same house, we were really disappointed, because what are the chances that she actually found, you know, more retro video games that she was going to be selling? So we just parked outside, and we were with my cousin, and we had my cousin go into this lady's house, because once again the sale was in this lady's house. And we just didn't want it to be awkward if Dave and I went in there and the lady recognized us or whatever. So we had my cousin go in. He came back out, and he said that he didn't see a single video game in there anyway. So obviously we believed him, and even if there was games, it would have been the scraps of what we left last time. So we weren't too concerned about going in ourselves. Kind of disappointing though. You know, one of the main sales we were looking forward to was a complete bust. But from there, we drove over to the sale that said they had the Xbox. And there was like 3 garage sales going on this street, and we actually ended up stopping at the other 2 first, just because, you know, we were driving by and we saw that they were open, so we just stopped. Didn't find anything, so we drove over to the Xbox sale, and we walked up there, and I'm looking around. There's like a few other people, you know, looking at stuff, buying stuff, and I don't know what it was, but the guy that was running the sale came up to either me or my cousin and said, "Hey, you know, can you guys just leave and come back at 9 o'clock when we're open?" And he kind of had like a tone to him, and I didn't know what to say. I'm looking past this guy at 5 other people in his garage, like picking stuff up, looking at stuff, buying stuff, and he's telling us to leave because they're not set up yet. You know, obviously we weren't going to make a scene about it, so we were just like, okay, whatever. And we're just like, okay, we'll just come back in 10 minutes. So we drove around to a couple more sales in the area, didn't find anything, came back to the Xbox sale, walked up there, looking around, no Xbox to be found anywhere. So either one, they mistook the Xbox for like a V-Smile that they had with a bunch of games, or someone had come in the 10 minutes that we were gone and bought the Xbox. And I'll never know, you know, what actually happened, obviously, because I wasn't there. But if I found out that someone had come and bought the Xbox after the guy told us to leave, I would be extremely upset. I mean, I am upset that we didn't get it, whether it was there or not. But still, I really couldn't get over that. So that was strike 2 for the day. Strike 3 was probably the fact that we didn't find anything the rest of the day. We must have went to 10, 12 sales after that. Didn't find a single video game related thing. So obviously not a good day for us. I took everything home, and to be honest, I wasn't even going to do a video for these pickups just because I put everything out. I took a picture of it. I was just going to post it on the Facebook and be done with it because, you know, I didn't have much to make a video of. We took our camera out with us. You know, we're trying to take the camera out more and more with us to get some footage from, you know, out in the wild or whatever. And we shot a few clips earlier in the day, but after the whole Xbox thing happened, I just got frustrated and we stopped filming, so we really didn't have much to make a video of. However, later that night, I was hanging out with Ryan. We were playing some Lufia on my Super Nintendo, and I checked Craigslist real quick, and there was a Super Nintendo lot that had gotten posted, and it said a system with 2 controllers and 20 games. The guy was asking $100 for it, which initially seemed kind of high, but I clicked on the ad. I started looking at a couple of the games, and there was, you know, a few decent titles in there. I'd say, you know, as a lot, as a bundle, everything he had was probably worth, you know, the $100 that he was asking for it. So I sent him an email real quick. I kind of lowballed him, actually. I said, if you'll take $60 for everything, I'll come pick it up tonight, which is obviously kind of a lowball offer. But 15 minutes later, I get a message back from him, and he says, can we meet in the middle at 80? And so I quickly email him back. I say $75 and we got a deal. So, you know, finally I get one more email back. He says, you know, you're a pretty good haggler there. $75 is fine. And we exchanged numbers. And Ryan and I got in my Jeep to go pick it up. We got about halfway across town, and I see the guy calling me on my phone. And I was just like, oh no, like, I bet somebody called and offered him $100 for it. But it was actually kind of like the opposite of that. I answered the phone, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I don't know if you're on your way to come get it or not, but I'm just trying to hook it up right now to test it to make sure it works before I sell it. And he said he was having some troubles getting the video to come on the screen. And I figured he probably would have troubles because in the picture for it he had on Craigslist, I saw that the AV cord he had for it was one of those like performance third-party piece of crap AV cords. It was actually for an N64, not a Super Nintendo. I mean, I know they're, you know, backwards compatible and everything, but he was probably trying to hook it up to like a newer TV and everything, and so obviously he'd probably have some troubles. I even have troubles with that all the time. So he's like, yeah, so I don't know if you still want it. If you don't want it, that's fine, or if you just want to buy it, and I'll give you your money back if it doesn't work. And I was like, you know, how about we do this? I said, how about I give you $70 for everything instead of $75, and I'll just take a chance on it that that it doesn't work. And he said that was cool. So for $70, I'll show you guys what we got. Here's the system I got here. It was pretty dirty when I got it. It's still a little bit dirty. I might be able to clean it up a little more. But it's actually not in bad shape. I mean, there's no cracks or chips in the corners or anything, which is, you know, common for these Super Nintendos. The plastic piece is still in the AC port there. So I was pretty happy about the condition of that. Now it came with here's the adapter I was talking about. Here's that performance adapter. It even says it's for an N64. And I don't really understand these because, I mean, the end on it, you plug it into like the AV part of the Super Nintendo, but then you plug the other end into the coaxial. So I don't really understand that at all. But and then it had the first party AC adapter, and it came with 2 first party controllers. So I actually tested the system out right before I made this video, and I used my own AV cord for it, and I turned it on, and I couldn't get the video to come on the screen. I was just getting a bunch of gray flickering lines across the screen. So next I tried, you know, in the coaxial slot here, I tried that and I got the same thing, and I was just like, oh no, like if this system actually doesn't work, I'm gonna lose out on this deal big time. And then I thought about it for a second. I was like, you know what? And I switched the power adapter. I used my own power adapter, and sure enough, the system worked perfectly fine. And I've run into problems like this before with Super Nintendo power adapters, mainly third-party ones, but I guess it just goes to show that if you have a problem, you know, with the picture on your Super Nintendo, the picture's not showing up on the screen right or whatever, don't necessarily assume that it's a problem with, you know, the AV cord you have or the AV on the system. Check the power adapter, because like I've said, I've encountered it before. You know, I've used third-party power adapters before on the Super Nintendo that don't display the picture right on the screen, just because they're cheap and everything. And now I've run into a first-party Super Nintendo adapter that screwed up the picture. So Something's obviously wrong with the adapter, which, you know, I'm not too concerned about it. I've got extra adapters. I'd rather it be, in this case, the adapter than the system. So that was cool there. The controllers, they work. The start buttons, though, were very unsensitive when I first tested them, which, again, is a common problem with Super Nintendo controllers. All the other buttons could work fine, and your start button will be really unsensitive, like you really have to either push it in really far to get it to work, or it just doesn't work at all. And actually, that is a very easy fix. So if that happens to your Super Nintendo controller, don't assume it's broken or anything. All you have to do is take it apart and find the spot on the circuit board inside where these buttons contact it, and just take a Q-tip. Don't use a wet Q-tip or anything. Just take a dry Q-tip and just rub it over the motherboard. So what happens is, over time, these rubber buttons here, the start and select, they leave like residue on the motherboard, and it kind of corrupts like the signal a little bit, I guess. So all you have to do is clean it off with a dry Q-tip, put it back together, and it should work good as new. And they did. I just fixed them before this video, and they work perfectly fine now. So a complete and working system there, which is very cool. And then, like I said, 20 games that came with it. I didn't actually count these. I just took his word for it that there was 20 games in here. But I'll go ahead and show them. We got Cybernator here, which is a game I don't believe I have for the Super Nintendo, so I'll be keeping this one. We got a copy of Magic Sword here, and this one is really dirty on the front. There's a bunch of crap on the front of it, but I do already have this game, but I believe the copy I have has a little bit of label damage, so assuming that this cartridge cleans up okay, I might be switching this one out for mine. We got Battleship. And a game I was really happy to get. It's Pocky and Rocky. I've heard of the game before, but I've never owned it, and it's like a $15 or $20 game, I believe. Unfortunately, the back of this one is cracked, like someone must have stepped on it or something because it's crushed in. But I'll just be able to switch out the back from a different game, so that's not a big deal. Much rather have it be the back of the cartridge than the front of it. So I was happy to get that one to add to my collection. We got a really beat up copy of Pilot Wings. You guys can probably see the label damage on that one. Bill Walsh College Football. You got Brutal Paws of Fury, which is a game I don't believe I have for the Super Nintendo. I have it on the Sega CD, I have it on the 32X, but I don't have the Super Nintendo one, so I'll be hanging on to that one. Really bad game here, King Arthur's World. I was never a fan of this game. Street Fighter 2. One of the better ones here, we got Earthworm Jim. Another pretty good one, Super Mario Kart. Gradius 3, or Gradius 3, however you want to pronounce that. Makes no difference to me. Hyperzone, a game that I just recently picked up at Goodwill, actually. Star Fox. Let's see, and this was probably the best game in here. It's Turtles in Time. Now, TMD 121, if you are watching this, just know that this copy of the game totally would have gone to you had you not gone on eBay and paid retail for it. No, I'm just messing with you, man. This was actually the one game out of this lot that Ryan really wanted to keep. He didn't have the game yet, so he gave me a few dollars to help me pay for everything, and he's going to be hanging on to this one, so it's going to a good home. So he was really happy to get that one. And okay, we got California Games 2 here, which I actually have like a calendar poster of this game, but I never owned the game. I don't even have California Games for the NES. I still have to get that one, but this is California Games 2 for the Super Nintendo. And Donkey Kong Country 2. Diddy's Kong Quest. Now I hear people all the time pronounce it Diddy Kong's Quest, but if you look at it, if you read it, the game is called Diddy's Kong Quest. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a pun or what they were going for there, but Diddy's Kong Quest. And then we got 3 copies of Super Mario World. And let's see, yeah, a couple both label variations here. So we got these two where the writing is on the left side of the top there, and then this one where the writing's in the middle. This one is trash though. This is in terrible condition. It's missing both clips on the top. I honestly don't even know I mean, I guess the screws hold it together, but missing both clips on the top. The label is trashed, but these two are in a little better condition. A little nick on this one here, but I'm not going to complain with 3 copies of Super Mario World. So, you know, for $75, well, $70 actually, that was a pretty good deal. I mainly just wanted the deal so that I could, you know, probably flip the system, flip a couple of these better games, and get the games that I needed for my collection. I pretty much got them for free in the end, and maybe made a couple dollars as well. So that was a pretty good deal there. Plus Ryan got his Turtles in Time, which I know he's really happy about. So that Craigslist deal right there made this video worth doing. You know, of course, in addition to the stuff we got at the garage sales. But I did go out to the thrift stores today, actually. Today being Monday, and actually had some pretty good thrift store luck. I went to the St. Vincent de Paul first, and to my surprise, actually found a reasonably priced PlayStation 1 system, and it's in this big bag. So I'll take it out here. I'll show you. Here's the PS1 here. Excellent condition. It is a model 9001. Looks almost brand new. I mean, there's, yeah, it is literally a brand new system here. And that had a DualShock controller, which is not so brand new. This controller, for some reason, the X button doesn't work. I have no idea why, but whatever. And then it had both the adapters for it here. And this controller, which is really weird, I've never seen anything like this. You know, it looks like a PS2 controller, but where's that other one? It's not the same shade of black. Like, this is the actual PS2 controller, and this is the one that came with the one I got from the St. Vincent de Paul. You can see it's more of a dark gray or a light black, and what's weird about it is the cord. The cord is gray as well, whereas, you know, on this, I thought all PS2 controllers had these black cords. So I don't know if this is just, you know, a different color PlayStation 1 controller that I've never seen before, or if it's a PS2 controller. I know, you know, they're backwards compatible for the most part, but you know, this is pretty much the main reason that I bought the whole lot, because I needed an extra PS2 controller. Didn't realize that it might be a PS1 controller. I really don't know. So if anyone knows anything about these weird, you know, weird shade of black PlayStation controllers, let me know. It also finally had the instruction manual in it. Fortunately, it didn't have the box, but that whole lot there was only $4.95, which I guess this St. Vincent de Paul learned their lesson, because at one point last winter they had 4 PlayStation 1 systems sitting there because they were marked at $19.95 a piece, completely as is, no, you know, no adapters, no controllers. They had 4 of them stacked on top of each other. I'm sure they just ended up throwing those all away because obviously they weren't going to sell them for that price. And then they come out and bundle it with 2 controllers, the instruction manual, and the adapters for $4.95. I don't understand, but I'm not going to complain. I'm happy with that. Also from there, I picked up, they started selling these, just these bags of empty CD cases. You know, when they get like CDs in or whatever, and there's nothing in the case, or just empty cases. But there's like 9 or 10 of them in here, and they sell these for like 59 cents for the whole bundle. So I'm going to start picking these up, actually, because they make perfect, you know, if you have to switch out like a PlayStation 1 case or something. You know, I just took the cover off real quick there, and it's got a couple scratches on it, but it's not cracked or anything. So these are great for replacing PlayStation 1 or Dreamcast game cases or whatever. So just under $6 for both of those there. And then I went up to the Goodwill and walked by the electronics section, didn't see anything there. Walked over to where they keep the games, and I saw a couple Super Nintendo games and some NES games. And I'll show the 4 games here that I was for sure going to get. This one here, I've never heard of before. It's a Super Nintendo game. It's called Soldiers of Fortune, and it looks pretty badass from the cartridge art here. Like I said, I've never heard of it. I don't think it's a rare game or anything, but I'm going to have to try this one out. It looks really cool. Might not be, I don't know. So I got that, and I got 3 NES games here. You got Elevator Action, which is a game I've been looking for. It's not in the greatest condition. It's got a, I mean, there's a rip in the label there. The back of it's pretty bad, but I'll probably switch out the back for a different game. And then I got Low G Man, which is another game that I did not have, so that was cool. And then finally, I picked this one up for Ryan. I actually called Ryan while I was there, and I read the games off that they had. And this was the only one that he needed, and it's Xenophobe. So I picked this one up for him because I already had it. So I had these 4 games in my hand, and lately this Goodwill has been charging $1.99 for these cartridge games, which is, you know, that's a fair price for them, especially if I don't have them already. That's a pretty good deal, actually. So I was completely prepared to pay $1.99 each for these. I left a few of the other games there just because they were doubles, and I didn't want to pay $1.99 for them. But when I got up to the register, I saw that the cute Goodwill girl was in fact working, and she was working at the cash register. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and grab those other games. So I went back and I grabbed the games that I had left there. One more Super Nintendo game. We got Tiny Toons Adventures Buster Bust Loose, which is just a common game, and that's why I didn't, I mean, I already had it, Ryan already had it, which is why I didn't pick it up initially. Same with these other 2, actually. We got Thundercade and Astyanax, both for the NES there. So I took all of these up there. I got in the cute Goodwill girl's line, waited for the lady in front of me, and I got up there, and as a little bit of insurance, I asked her, I was like, you know what, I was like, I need these 4 for sure, but I always forget how much these are. So how much are these games again? And she's like, oh, well, she kind of looked at them, she's like, well, you can just have them for $0.25 a piece. 25 cents a piece. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I think I can afford all of them then. So I got all of these, and instead of paying $1.99 per game, I got all of them for under $1.99. It was like $1.78 for all of these. I couldn't believe it. She just hooks me up time and time again. So happy with that deal, especially because I got a few of those games that I didn't have, you know, let alone all of them for under $2. So that was an absolutely excellent deal there. And that was actually all I had for this pickups video. So this is the conclusion here. I did get a few things in the mail today, actually, but I'm actually just going to take a picture of them and throw that up on the Facebook, which I want to make an announcement about real quick. If anyone watching this video has not already checked out our Facebook, definitely go and do so. We put the link to it down in the description of all the videos. You know, we post all of our smaller finds on there. You know, if we find a game or 2 at the thrift store that isn't worth making a video for, we'll just we'll throw it up on the Facebook as a picture. Also, you know, everything we get in the mail, everything we have for trade, we take pictures of and we put it up in a for trade album on the Facebook. And we post a lot of other cool stuff on there as well. So if you haven't checked that out yet, definitely click the link in the description. You know, like us on Facebook, whatever. And I want to thank you guys for sticking around and watching the video. And until next time, take care.